Welcome to the city of frost and fire. Discover the authentic stories of the extraordinary people that define our north of normal metro. I'm Conrad Fargo. This is the Fargo Five. We've got Tiffany Sauvageau, one of the owners of Savvy Kitchen and Savvy Cleaning. Hello, Tiffany.
Hi, Conrad.
So you don't recognize the music, the in-between music, this one right here? You don't, that's Monty Python and the Holy Grail. That doesn't do anything for you?
No.
Not a big movie watcher?
No, sir.
What's your favorite movie?
Legally Blonde.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, all right. Well, I expected more out of you because when, at the end, we always play a song and we talk about it at the end of the last segment, but we can talk about it now. This is the frequently asked questions segment. Okay. So I can just ask you some questions. You see, the structure is very strict on the whole show. I'm always afraid when I ask for the song, though, because I can't stand a lot of music. I'm very touchy, and I've got pretty strong opinion and taste on music and movies. Legally Blonde would not be the kind of movie I like, but Lindsay Sterling with some dubstep there, that would be my kind of music. So I'm surprised that your taste in music is very good. So much better than you. How did you get turned on to Lindsay Sterling?
My best friend Brianna of 19 years was an amazing violin player. Oh. And so she passed away 2 years ago. So it kind of reminds me of her.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Thanks.
And so is she the one who turned you on to Lindsay Sterling, or
no,
you just kind
I
of
just found her randomly.
Because dubstep, I feel is kind of more niche.
Oh yeah.
Not everyone's into it.
In my 20s, I was hard into it, living in Orlando.
Is it just like something that happened 10 years ago, and then only some people held on to it and nobody listens to it anymore?
Absolutely. Yeah,
I still
like
listen.
A phase.
I love dubstep. I never got out of it. And Skrillex and all that stuff.
Yes. Same.
It's good stuff.
Agreed.
All right. Well, those are some of the frequently asked questions, but wait, there's more. So people send in listener mail. The show's very popular. I don't know if you know that. And they seem to ask the same questions over and over and over again. And so what I've done is kind of compiled a short list. You have not read this list?
I have not read your list.
And so I would like to know just kind of some of your answers of some of the listener mail. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. How do you drink your water? Room temperature or chilled?
With ice cubes.
With ice cubes? Really? So you can't just take it right out of the tap?
Nope. Cold water.
How about soda pop?
I'm not a soda drinker.
At all?
At all.
Yeah, I used to be.
Just water.
Just water? Only water? Is that like a health thing, or you just don't like enjoying yourself?
No, I'm in recovery of almost 3 years from alcohol. So.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, pop isn't alcohol. Nope. And coffee, you're not a big coffee drinker? Oh, okay. You just
Celsius. I like those.
What's that?
Energy drink.
Okay. Well, that's got a lot of caffeine and probably the other awesome stuff in it.
200 milligrams, yeah.
Okay.
Stuff. All
right. Here's one. It might bring up some strife between you and your husband. I don't mean to pull it entirely in, but I know it's kind of a hot issue in my house. Do bowls belong on the bottom rack of the dishwasher?
Depends on how full the top rack is.
Oh, okay. So we use more like an ecosystem.
Yeah,
like making sure that we get the. But will you put like a ceramic bowl on the bottom rack?
Yeah.
What about a plastic bowl?
Depends if it's gonna melt or not.
Yeah, right. But the ceramic bowls, you're not afraid of them breaking or anything like that.
No.
You've never had that happen.
Nope, not yet.
Okay. Have you left Fargo very often, very many times? Have you ever lived anywhere besides Fargo?
Yes, many times.
Okay. Where did you live? Have you ever lived outside of the Midwest? Anywhere with nicer weather?
Yeah, my dad was in the Army for 22 and a half years of my life, so I kind of experienced a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where all did you live? That's pretty crazy.
Colorado, Panama, Washington.
Yeah. So you've met a lot of different people from different cultures, different backgrounds, different weathers.
A little bit of everything.
And so this is a question I ask a lot, and it kind of sits with me, and I really do wonder it, because we say, and I say this too, I say the weather is our immigration policy. I say you must be this tough to live here. And I'm not saying if you leave you're not tough, but if you're not tough, you will leave. Like
it's brutal.
You have to be able to have your S together, because if you don't, well, your car is not going to work, and you're not going to get to work, and that's that, because we're not walking.
Right, you can't walk anywhere here.
So, I mean, is that been your experience since you've been outside of the area? Are Fargo people, are Midwest people really different? Are we hardier, or is that just cope? Are we just telling ourselves that?
We are definitely a different breed up here.
You think so?
Yep. When I was in my 20s, I moved down to Orlando for a little while. No, they're not as friendly as up here.
Okay. Yeah, and tell me more about that. But how else is it different? So they're just not as nice?
The people is a big thing, obviously the traffic. We're a little bit smaller here than down there. The sense of community, I would say, is like almost non-existent down there, as we're up here.
So we have a better sense of community here.
I would say.
Yeah, one of the things, being an entrepreneur at least, and I think we have more entrepreneurs up here too because of that hardiness factor, that how we are just built differently. I think it makes us more independent, but then also that independence makes us more willing to maybe share with others and be helpful to those who are at least trying.
Right.
And just surviving up here shows that you're trying, because you have to you got to be doing something to live up here. Okay. Here's a question. You might have to think about it just a little bit, and that's okay. But what surprised you the most when you started your career? Was there any misconceptions that you may have had about the job or the business?
Yeah, absolutely. Starting a business is hard. I won't say that, but that was definitely a deterrent. It's like, I got to deal with the government, got to get legal. Nobody likes to deal with the government anyways, but, So I would say that that was a big scare factor.
Yeah. But did it turn out to maybe be easier, or was there anything that, when you started it, you thought it was going to be one way, it turned out to be another? Was there anything
absolutely. You think everything's going to be hard. There's going to be all this laws and regulations and stuff that you got to deal with, but not really.
Absolutely.
It's not that hard.
You have to follow. Yes, you have to follow the rules. You got to figure out the rules.
Yeah.
And that takes a little bit of a lift. It's a little bit of a do. But and my wife and I have this discussion all the time when it comes to all kinds of things in business and trying to follow the rules and regulation. As I say, people who are far less well-intentioned than we are, people who are maybe less intelligent or less studious. They're running businesses, and it's not like they're getting locked up and thrown away. Right? So as long as we act in good, and that's what I always say, as long as we're acting in good faith, I think we'll be all right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We'll be all right.
Come across some, then I'm like, how are you still around?
Yeah, because it's like you're not following the rules, but it turns out most people aren't. So as long as you're giving it a good faith try, as long as you're attempting, to not pull a fast one. Sometimes I try to imagine the life of like any auditor or enforcer of regulations. Like, it's got to be tough. Can you imagine all the people you meet and they just look at you like, well, I didn't know.
Yeah, right.
And it'd be like, well, whatever. So yeah, I think as long as you're kind of documenting things and doing your best, you'll be all right.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's see. One more here. Oh, this is a good one. Okay. Now I really want you to think on this one. We might have to even take a short break to really let you chew on it, but I want you're going to be sending a psychic message back to yourself at the young age of 18. And the only thing you're going to know when you hear this message, you'll know to take its advice, and you won't know anything else. Just you're going to receive, we can only push 3 words. 3 words into 18-year-old Tiffany Sauvageau's. So 18 years old. Where were you? Were you living? Because you were moving around. Were you living?
Just graduating high school.
Just graduating high school, which was at?
West Fargo High School.
West Fargo High. You're just graduating. You're throwing that cap in the air. And then from the sky comes 3 words beamed into your brain. And they are?
Go for it.
Go for it. Go for it. Okay. That's wow. You think that's enough? What impact will that have on you?
I like to limit myself and be like, well, what if this or what if this? And you know what? Screw the what ifs and just go for it and figure it out as you go.
Yeah.
It's been working for me so far.
Yeah. Don't hesitate. Don't wait.
Don't
Just go
hesitate.
for it. Just go for it. You only live one life. You only got one chance at all of this. So
Exactly.
just make it happen. Enjoy yourself.
Make it happen.
Make it
That's
happen. Hey, that's 3 words too.
Yep, I like
Make
those.
it happen. All right. Well, that is all the inspiration we have time for. We are going to move to a break. And when we come back, we'll have everyone's favorite section, Fargo Favorites. So don't go nowhere.